and them roots and herbs, they working a little too well. On their way home, he told Chippy to pull over. Let's get this thing started right now, 'cause I wanna do something freaky to you, babe. I don't think you heard me. Say less. This was an episode that left us with a lot of reminiscing, some murder for hire, and a lot of unanswered questions. The mysterious Blue Rose debacle, it still isn't solved, and Paris, y'all, listen, Niles was about to propose to her, but when Paris found out that he was contracted to kill LC, she had to choose. Family over her man. So in that very moment, after talking to him, she held the detonator in her hands and blew up the hotel room. And now she's having nightmares about what she did. And she actually tried to talk him out of it, surreptitiously. But this was a job that he actually had to finish because a client had already wired him half the money. See, this is the mature Paris, the loyal Paris, dedicated to her family. She's that girl. And she's grown a whole lot because we all know that season 1 Paris would have gotten the D first and then try to work everything out for the family on the back end. But season 5 Paris, she knows where her loyalty lies, and she followed through with that one solution, the only solution to dead the problem, leaving the only unanswered question now: who ordered the hit? LC still got it, y'all. He got that old thing back. He's feeling himself. He took a look back at Chippy as he took the call from KD, who's in the morgue, and he's there identifying Catfish's boy's body at Harris County. And of course, KD already knows what's up. That's why he called LC in the first place. Catfish boy has gone to glory. Well, his name isn't Catfish boy, but his name is Jonah, but I just like saying Catfish. And we all know that KD don't care nothing about Catfish, right? He wants the 5 mil that Catfish went to go and pick up. But we did get a little insight on what happened the last time, quote unquote, because KD wanted to warn LC about what he did the last time, as if he didn't remember what happened, quote unquote, the last time. So maybe this is a history repeating itself all over again. Maybe LC murdered somebody, and that's why Vegas had to take the fall for him. We're still not clear on that, but it's refreshing to know that they're going to be dripping little clues and hints throughout the season. He asked KD if Jonah had told anyone about their meeting, and KD told him that Jonah told Spike Wallace about the meeting. And KD is making yet another attempt to squeeze money out of LC, talking about, Spike Wallace, he's got a big mouth. As if LC gonna just fall for the okie doke again. And LC has KD right where he wants him, on his side of the table, so to speak. He knows that KD's hands are tied legally, so he can pretty much take care of the Dixie Mafia one by one, take matters into his own hands, and get rid of the problem. Donna is out for her morning run when she ran into her good neighbor, Dominique LaRue. And Dominique been doing her homework on Donna, so she felt the need to go over and let her know how they could be doing business together. She pointed out to Donna that they have something in common. Both of their men were wussies with a P when it came to LC, and they never had the balls to really stand up to him. They also already had their daughters lost at the hands of the Duncans. Well, the Duncans had something to do with it, and they were both afraid that the blood of their sons will also be shed due to, again, the Duncans. Dominique also mentioned getting revenge on Donna, so of course now Donna is all ears. It's breakfast time in the Duncan household. Everyone is gathered around to eat, and they noticed that Rio was up pretty early with the birds, and everyone wanted to know why. Turns out Rio has a club opening in the Hamptons this weekend, so he's got to go and check things out. At least that's what he told them, and we're going to find out a little bit later what he's really up to. Then LC asked Paris, how she was doing, and she shared with them that she'd been having nightmares, and Rio had to take it upon himself to interject to the whole family that Paris's nightmares may be due to the $800 a dozen blue Ecuadorian roses that she got. This sent Paris storming out of the room. She was a little pissed. Then we moved to Roman, visiting his mom in the hospital, and the nurse stepped in to let him know that they were going to have to move her to a smaller county hospital where they have that sliding payment scale right at the end of the week because her insurance had lapsed. She told him that they can't keep treating her without $40,000 being paid. So Roman told the nurse that he'd get the money. So this cemented his storyline, guys. This is how he's going to weasel his way into the lives of the Duncan. This Paris is the goal to come up with the money by any means necessary. He's already carjacked their car, but that was just kind of random. Now that he knows who the Duncans really are, that's gonna put him on their radar very soon, I'm sure. Now this Aunt Coretta, she's been knowing about the money issue for a while, and the nurse told him that they love his mother. Now hold up, so the only way that I see nurses and staff loving one of their random patients, it doesn't happen. It's because they may have some sort of intimate relationship or friendship. I don't know, they know her. I don't know, I guess I'm wondering that this is the same hospital that maybe she worked in like 20 years ago, and she didn't really look retired or elderly by any means, so she may have still been working there. So Chippy finally made it out of bed after Elsie wore her out. And her and Nene, they're having this girlfriend moment in the kitchen where Chippy had to brag about how good Elsie is in bed, and this made Nene feel away. And she shared with her the fact that she's missing her crazy-ass husband, Larry. So she told Nene that she's going to have Vegas go and try to find him. And I don't know, this was just a touching scene for me, along with Roman in the hospital crying at his mother's bedside. She told Nene that if Elsie could forgive Larry, that she could too. And that was that. I love how they were able to just have this mature conversation about forgiveness and helping each other amidst all the chaos that is taking place. I just love that. So now Rio wants to clean up hurting Paris's feelings at the breakfast table. He encouraged Paris to tell him what was going on with her, so she finally opened up about what happened between her and Niles. She admitted that Niles was dead and that she had to take him out because he was hired to kill their dad. Then they had this flashback moment where she took on a job for half the bag with Niles and knocked off 2 men that he was hired to kill. And she explained this as being fun, dangerous, and exhilarating. Paris is a trigger-happy pit bull in a skirt, period. In our next scene, Elsie paid LoJack a visit. He needed a favor, and LoJack thinks that he's there because his cousin carjacked Chippy and Rio in the church parking lot. But he wanted LoJack to deliver an envelope filled with money to someone later on that evening. And of course, LoJack is obliged. And again, I've said this, I don't know, I think it was season 2 of Family Business. No matter which Duncan is on the scene, LoJack is always a ball of nerves whenever they come around. Always. Rio and Nevada are on their way to this new club in the Hamptons, and they have to make a little pit stop, and this is the part that he failed to disclose during breakfast, is that he wanted to take Nevada by the church to have him scrub the security cameras to see who it was that carjacked him and Chippy, after Chippy told him not to go. But it was a successful mission. They were able to get in and out without the little church lady suspecting anything. Now, just a side note here, Dominique and Donna looked good in this episode. Like, they all outside with matching running suits, looking all the way snatched, okay? Now, we see Dom crawling into the pool with Antonio. And I don't know, the bikini for me, I just have to have on all kinds of wraps, cover-ups, hijabs, you know. But anyway, they're having lunch and drinks in the pool, and Antonio wants to be sure that everything is going according to plan. He wanted to be sure that her and Donna are besties now, so that they can get in Junior's ear and get him to do whatever they want. Antonio is ready to give him all the power, and this is something that Junior has been seeking all of his life, because with the Duncans, with Orlando and Vegas being the front runners, I don't know, he's just always been, you know, second best, if you will. But with the Dashes, Junior is going to be in charge. Junior gonna be calling the shots. Yes! Preach, okay? At least this is what Antonio is telling him. And this is kind of crazy because not only have they serenaded Junior, but also Donna. And the trailer has already revealed this to us. So that's just a little weird to me that Donna is falling for their scheme. Antonio got a call from Rocco at poolside telling him that there was no sign of Ruby, Vinny, or little Vincent, but Orlando was back in New York, and Vinny said he's got to go and see him in the worst way. In our next scene, we see LC picking up his getaway car, and he's wondering if LoJack can follow his simple instruction, and we're going to find out exactly what he wanted with LoJack a little bit later. Now, Paris is taking matters into her own hands again by hiring Curtis to find out who the ghost is that's sending her these blue roses. Do y'all think that Paris should let the family know, like the whole family, that Elsie has a hit on him? Like, she's giving me Sonia Antonia vibes right now. She needs to tell somebody. This ain't something that you just keep to yourself. Just because she thinks that she killed Niles, what if they hire someone else to do the job? She's playing a very dangerous game, and she needs to speak up before things really get out of hand. But Curtis said that he'd handle it and that he's gonna leave in the morning. Now we see where LoJack delivered that envelope full of cash to. Hellfire Club on behalf of LC for Spike Lewis. Now, Spike has a 48-hour coupon for some complimentary cooch, and Junior is still here soaking it all in. Junior needs to take his ass home, quite frankly. I'm tired of him sitting in here like he's not a whole married man. It's just horrible. Then we see Darnell and Roman. They come up on a lick, and we'd assume that this is Roman's jump in, so to speak. While Darnell is standing there running his mouth, the guy who they robbed was grabbing his piece out of his back pocket. So Roman had to take him out. Otherwise, it was lights out for Darnell. And I'm sure that Darnell appreciated it, right? Let's just say that he owes Roman 1 or 2. And here we go with this catch-up hand again. I don't know who had the worst catch-up hand, y'all. Was it this guy or Catfish's youngest boy? Consuela saw her new customer to the door, walked him out right to his death. LC was there greeting him with his charming northern hospitality, and it's lights out for Spike. He's done. Darnell and Roman are on their way home, and Darnell is praising Roman for having his back when he really didn't have to. He told Roman that he could have watched the guy shoot him, and then Roman could have then shot old boy and took the money and ran. But he didn't. And I'm like, well, that's what you would have done, clearly. But Roman has proven his loyalty to Darnell, and now he has the money for his mom's transplant. Or at least he now has enough to let her remain there in the hospital where she already is. Darnell was then invited to a party, and he really didn't want to go, but the peer pressure was a beast, right? All Roman want to do is get that bag and dip. He ain't trying to be best friends and LC was waiting for Chippy to pick him up after he got rid of Spike, right? And those natural remedies and them roots and herbs, they working a little too well. On their way home, he told Chippy to pull over. Let's get this thing started right now, 'cause I wanna do something freaky to you, babe. I don't think you heard me. Say less. Then, in our final scene, we see Orlando locking up the car dealership on his way to the house when he ran into Antonio and his goons, recommending that he get in the car, but of course, he refused. And that's where we leave this episode, guys. I liked the episode, I did, and it moved at a much slower pace than usual, but still entertaining. And this episode was needed. We needed it to tie everything together and to get us up to over that hump, you know, to confirm all the plot points and to show us the building of new alliances, the alliance between Donna and Dominique, Roman and Darnell. It wasn't really an alliance between Paris and Curtis. It is, but not really, because their loyalty is kind of expected because they're family. But Chippy and Nini's friendship has also been taken to a new level as well. So the episode gave us what it gave, and it's definitely helping to usher us into next week's episode number 4, without a hitch. What about you? Did you guys like the episode? Drop me your comments below and give me your feedback on episode number 3, Special Delivery. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Ruthless TV. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You know I'd appreciate it. And if you're a fan of Carl Weber's The Family Business, then go ahead and sub to the channel for more videos just like this one. Thank you so much once again, you guys, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.